A model hailing back all the way to the days of Medarot 8 on the 3DS. It is the Narwhal-based Medarot of the Sea, IKK00 One Stroke, with a kit of Power Rifle, double Gatling, Sea Legs, and the leg ability of Artillery, which buffs the success and power of equipped shooting attacks, but he cannot dodge or defend while in heat phase. Now, as a model that is permanently available in any banner you pull from, One Stroke is a model you probably will have pulled parts for at least 8, 9, 10 times or more if you've been playing very likely longer than a week or 2 weeks at this point, given that he is a very easy model to collect, but despite that, he actually has some rather interesting advantages if used correctly. Head of Power Rifle is a conventional shooting-based skill that has a times 1.5 damage bonus as long as his legs are intact when firing. Of course, at the drawback, he cannot dodge or defend while in heat phase, while in cooldown phase. Right and left arm of Gatling are scattered AoE attacks that are conventional shooting skills, meaning they will attack one part normally and then deal damage to two others at random at 1/3 damage. It is also worth noting with Gatling attacks that thanks to the new 3.2 update, they are now capable of shredding through shields at taking down a total of 3 charges upon attacking them instead of 1 like any other attack might, making this rather strange Narwhal type a little more viable on the field than he was before thanks to this update. Sea Legs means that One Stroke will have relatively decent coverage across most terrains. Definitely not going to be the greatest there is, but if it's all you have, it's something you can honestly make use if you're careful. Primarily for the fact that Artillery means that he will be hitting notably harder than normal, as well as very likely to hit with very little chance for the opponent to dodge or graze. But this means that he is wide open through the entirety of his heat phase, and if he chooses to use Power Rifle, he is constantly open to being punished for it, either from his heat phase or from his cooldown penalty of also no dodge, no defend. Gatling on both arms, even if damage isn't consistent, is probably going to be one of his safest skills if you do choose to use him. But despite that, it still can benefit from the power of the Artillery leg ability with higher success and power, meaning that an already high success attack is more likely to have a higher chance of a critical hit on top of that. Stats spread across the board isn't too shabby either, if I'm honest. At a head HP at about 3250, arms about 2900 each, which is just a hair squishy but not enough to cripple him super quick, and leg armor of about 3500 means he has a pretty moderately healthy HP pool aside from the arms. But one of the big problems with One Stroke is again the fact that Artillery leaves him wide open almost 24/7, especially if you consider the rest of his kit as a whole. That being said, as a pure set score, despite this though, I do have to rate him a pretty solid 5 out of 10. This Artillery actually has very good synergy, obviously, between Power Rifle and double Gatling, so there really is no real issue there, and all of his parts will work together moderately well as long as he has someone to protect him and cover for him, because the first hit he takes, if someone outruns him, it's basically game over, because while in his heat phase, all hits are guaranteed to land, and they're also guaranteed critical hits on top of that. Which means if One Stroke doesn't strike first, or if there isn't someone to cover him, he is going to go down very quickly. As mixed parts, I do have to rate him just a little bit higher at a 5.5 out of 10. Gatling and Power Rifle are both very solid skills, and none of them are heavy no less, meaning that you can use any of them with very good flexibility across the team, even if base power isn't super great, with the arms averaging about 1100 or so for base power when fully capped, and the Power Rifle just barely hanging out at about 1200 there before modifiers. So not bad, honestly. But like I said, because they are non-heavy, they do trade a lot of base power for versatility and flexibility across the team. Personally, I would avoid using his legs, if anything, because Artillery can be a very dangerous skill to make use of, unless you have someone that can cover for him. If you do, then I'd say you can use Artillery pretty effectively, as long as you exercise very careful caution when using them.